UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet, Shane Matthews, every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to carry. It's Tuesday. We'll have Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show in just a second. If you missed it last night, Gator basketball, 15-point win over in Jax against the South Florida Bulls. Track meet, high-scoring affair. Really good night for the backcourt for sure. Will Richard and Walter Clayton Jr. had a good night as well. Missed it in Monday Night Football, overtime. Bucks tied it up late. A few 20 seconds left. Probably should have gone for two. Of course, it's easy to say that now. Yeah. Chiefs winning in overtime, 30-24. You got college football tonight, college basketball, NBA, hockey, you name it, you got it. And get out and vote today, folks. Get out and vote. All right, buddy, you're on the Titan MR hotline, courtesy of Comfort Shaken.
Good morning to you. You're right. And by the way, everybody in the world knew what was going to happen in that game last night. The Bucks had a shot. Poor clock management calling a timeout they didn't need down there at the end, and then not going for two when everybody knew that was the only chance. Shane, how many times did you play at Kansas City?
Oh, sir. I don't know. I played there a bunch of times. I just don't know the exact amount.
Yeah, I went there probably 15 times when I covered the Broncos. I don't know how it was for you in the day, but it was a really hard place to win then.
Yeah.
It's really hard now. And, you knew Mahomes, if he got the ball back at any time, he was going to beat him or tie him, and he did that. Why do you think I guess that was just a rookie that called timeout down on the goal line. You didn't need to call timeout there.
When did they call timeout?
They called the touchdown, caught the pass down to the one. And then they called timeout. Didn't need it. They could have run some more clock. Then
what are you talking about at the end of the game?
Yeah, regulation. And they called.
They didn't. The Bucks. The Chiefs didn't win the game in regulation. It went into overtime.
I know, but but the fact is, they gave them the opportunity to come back because they gave more. Anyway, the point was never give Mahomes the ball back like they did. Now they won it in overtime. I grant you. You knew if they didn't go for two and win it, what was going to happen. Mahomes is going to get the ball. He got the coin toss, took it right down. Classic Kansas City Chiefs drive, and they knock it in and beat the Bucks. And that would have been a huge win for the Bucks.
Yeah, there was a very scary situation last night with Mahomes on one of his scramble touchdowns.
Yeah.
Boy, I thought he tore his ACL. Good thing he didn't. But they stay undefeated, and they are what they are. It's they're a juggernaut, no question about that. Yeah. What's amazing to me about Arrowhead Stadium or whatever they call it now, it's so old, and you never heard any complaints or anybody talking about building them a new stadium.
No.
It's a dump.
Yeah, it is a dump, and it's cold.
But it's loud.
It is the coldest stadium I've ever been in my life. I've been to Green Bay. It is unbelievably cold in December, and that's when the Broncos always played there. They played home and home. So, yeah, that was and by the way, nice win for the Gator basketball team last night. Had Franz Beard on last night. However, you can't shoot 3 for 17 in threes in the first half as they did. They couldn't throw it in the ocean. But Walter Clayton was brilliant, and Junior was brilliant, and Will Richards in the end. And nice win for the Gators against a pretty stubborn little South Florida team. And so a good start, slow but good.
Yeah, for sure. Cliff says on Facebook Live, Bucks tied it up at the end of regulation. They didn't need to run down the clock.
Yeah, but the point was that they could have. They didn't need that timeout. If they did end up giving the ball back to Kansas City, and you don't ever give the ball back to Kansas City with any time on the clock when you got Mahomes. Anyway, the point is they should have gone for two. They didn't go for two. That was the only chance they had of winning. And of course, unfortunately, Mahomes got the ball and knocked it right in.
Yeah. Let's get to a couple of these texts here before we move on. Actually, let's do this, buddy, before we move to Texas. Let's get your thoughts on the Florida-Georgia game on Saturday.
Yeah, we talked about it on my show last night, and I had kind of mixed emotions about it. I know what you say is true. In the end, you can't overcome your record. And when you look at Billy's record against his rivals, it's awful. He's won one time. He still have a chance to win two. One of them he should. That would be his second one if he beats FSU. You can't have the kind of record Billy's had. I do think, however, that it changed the perspective for me a little bit when you sit and think about, okay, they could have and should have won that game if he didn't get hurt. I mean, he had on the run. He was playing great. Granted, Georgia came back in the end, but they were there for the picking.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate on that.
Right.
Because everybody asked me, and I try to look at it from both sides, because I try to be, even though I'm a Gator, I look at
Right.
the entire game from both lenses. DJ made one throw for a touchdown. Other than that, it wasn't great, buddy. He was struggling. Now, that doesn't mean he couldn't have thrown three more touchdowns if he hadn't gotten hurt, but he could have thrown three interceptions. So, look, are we closer to Georgia? I think so, but I think every team in the league is closer to Georgia. I think everybody's gotten better. Um, so I don't buy that if DJ plays, we win the game. I think it's possible that we win the game, but if Carson Beck doesn't throw three interceptions, we don't have a chance in the game. So I kind of look at it every way possible.
Okay, I understand that. I'm not campaigning for Billy. I'm just saying the facts. The team played a lot better. The mindset was different. The defense was different. Everybody, and they were without any, they had a walking wounded list as long as my arm. I loved how they played in that game. Their mental approach, and I think that Gator fans are like they had a shot. If I told you it's going to be 20-20 going into the fourth quarter with a chance for Florida to beat Georgia a month ago, you laughed at me. So I don't go for moral victories, but you have progress reports. What I've seen with my own eyes is these young players developing. They're a better football team, but it may be too little too late. I do think DJ is the star of the future. I love how Jaden Ball's playing. The defense is so much better, and they had a good chance to win that game. I like to think they could have and maybe would have won it had he not gotten hurt. Is that an improvement? Yes, it is. So now, what does that mean? Maybe nothing. Maybe Billy will get fired anyway. I just think if you poll most Gator fans, I haven't had as much response all year to a column as I had when I wrote the column after the game saying, this maybe gives us pause to reflect on what are we looking for here? Do we have the coach in hand to hire? No. It's a lot of money, 26 million is a buyout. And let's see what Billy is able to do the last couple of games. We said the whole time it depends on what happens at the end of the season. They did not get blown out against Georgia. They were competitive. I like that. Now I want to see what's next.
A couple things here. Justin says on YouTube, a lot of talk about the talent gap, but Florida looked like they were on the same level. Gators were moving them in the trenches. Yeah,
Agreed.
we're not the only ones that have improved. Like I said, Mississippi State has improved the last couple of weeks.
They're not playing them, Shane. They're playing Georgia, who was then allegedly the best team in the country, although you don't agree.
But Mississippi State played Georgia.
I know.
Okay. Kentucky played Georgia.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is going to play. The point to the story is the portal has allowed every team to make that jump to Alabama and Georgia. Everybody. There's not one dominant team in America right now. Not one. I said on your show last night, after whatever week it is, after last Saturday, the most impressive teams to me in the Southeastern Conference after Saturday were Ole Miss and South Carolina.
Yeah, and I don't think South Carolina belongs in that group, but they have certainly been impressive. And we're going to get to this, I'm sure, before it's over. Top
But
12.
you think South Carolina is not more impressive than Florida keeping it close against Georgia? What they did to Texas A&M, who was unbeaten in the conference?
I think
You
Georgia
don't?
has played out of their glory. They played great. Their quarterbacks have played much better. The defense get edge rushers. I give Shane, I give him the credit for what he's done. They're not in the same league with the big boys. They're not the top three in the SEC. I'm sorry.
I didn't say they were. I said they've closed the gap just like people think Florida has closed the gap. That's what I'm saying is I think everybody in the league has gotten close. I mean, look at Vanderbilt. They've closed the gap. I mean, they've beaten Alabama and Auburn and played Texas extremely tough. So anyway,
I'm
I
not
don't know what's
arguing
going to.
against you, Shane.
No, no, no. I know we're not arguing.
I can't
I'm
blame them
making
for
a
failing.
point
I'm
that
just making a point. It's better than it was. I don't care what Mississippi State's doing. I don't care what the rest of it. It's better than what it was. I saw progress. I saw a better coach team. That's all.
okay. So having said all that, do you think they keep Billy Napier?
I don't know yet.
I
All I
think
said,
they do. I think
all
they do keep him.
I said in my column was he's worth another look.
My only concern is, will we be sitting here week 4 or week 5 next year talking about the same issues? That's my only concern.
They're going to make some changes in the staff. You tell me who should be the coach. Nobody
I,
has identified. Can't be Lane. He's not coming, and
he
he's too.
would come if he was hired.
I know, but is that? I mean, look, he's not killing it exactly down
Well,
there. So
I think they're the best team in the SEC
but
right
they're
now,
ranked
personally.
in like out of the top
I don't
10.
care where they're ranked. I'm talking about how they're playing.
Okay, they're
You just
playing
talked about how
right
the
now, but
Gators
they've
played
had a
against
few hiccups.
Georgia.
They've had some hiccups along the way too.
They have 2 losses by a total of 6 points. But I'm just telling you, I think Ole Miss beats Georgia this weekend.
Uh, okay, I'll take that
You want to bet on that game with me?
dollar.
A
Give me
dollar?
the
Okay.
points.
This text here says, I think an immobile DJ is better than a Yale transfer. What do you think? I don't think there's any way possible DJ can play.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think he plays the rest of the year personally.
yeah.
Um,
Most
if
people
he,
are saying what you
if he
said.
pulled his hamstring, I don't care if it's a slight pull, you cannot come back in a couple of weeks. I've done it myself. I've never seen anybody come back from a pulled hamstring in 1 or 2 weeks ever.
I hear
Now,
you.
that doesn't mean he may have some freaking way of healing, but as soon as you make one subtle movement, you're going to pop it again. I don't see it happening. All right, this text from Michael in Tennessee says, he's a Gator for life. I've been a fan since '87. On my social media accounts, I have an upside down logo because the Gators are in distress. I mean, no disrespect. I miss the HBC and Coach Meyer days when the Gators were feared. I miss the toughness of Coach Meyer's teams, the Champions Club. I don't miss Urban Meyer, the person. I've noticed a big difference in this team since the beginning of the year. I've started to enjoy watching Gator football again. Thanks for the text, Michael.
There you go.
This is somebody from the 336 says Shane is very objective, which is a good thing. Look, I just give my opinion. Whether it's right or wrong, whether you agree with me, I don't care. I just tell you what my eyes tell me.
I think I'm understanding what you're saying. I think we're close to agreeing on it. I think the difference is acknowledging improvement and saying that they haven't come as far as the rest of the teams have. It's not necessarily the referendum here. The referendum, we wanted better, we got the quarterback, and no one has identified the person. Maybe it's Lane Kiffin, maybe it's not. Right now, I'm kind of lukewarm on him. He's been struggling a little bit. I don't know if it's a fit here now. I don't know who that person is. I don't see him coming through the door. I don't want to see the team torn apart again, another firing. I don't know if a lot of people are ready for that. But if he doesn't improve it and he ends up losing badly in the end, he'll get fired. I think based on what I saw Saturday, I'm just basing it there. I think there's reason to look at Billy again and give him a second look.
Florida Victorious, proud NIL partner of the Florida Gators, joined today to make Florida victorious. We got Buddy Martin here on the Titan Hardline. All right, so the more as the season going along, I think they're going to keep Billy. That's just my gut feeling now.
Yeah.
However, I get so many texts about our young talent, buddy. I get it.
Yeah.
Do we have some good young players? Absolutely do. But people, that does not mean they're going to be playing for us next year. That's the concern in today's modern day college football, not just here at Florida, anywhere. You know, back in the day, if you had a young player, you knew you had him for 3 years. You knew it because he ain't going to transfer and waste a year. But now you can go wherever you want. So,
having said that, Shane, and you're exactly right, it's even more impressive that Billy has retained that team and kept them playing hard. That's impressive. And
right, but playing hard it's something that you feel good about when you know you're not as good as the other team, and you just go out there and you play, you lay it on the line, and you may have a chance of winning.
His players not quit on him.
No, they never have. They
Right.
respect Billy because
That's what
Billy
I'm saying. They
respects
have not
them.
quit on him. That tells me something.
It tells me they respect their head coach, but
Right.
the bottom line is, I mean, hell, we could all go out and play hard and lose the football game, and
Well, you
we
know what
still
I
have a
mean,
losing
Shane.
record.
You know what I'm talking about. They're playing with respect and they're playing hard. And I don't know anybody else that could have gotten more out of them against Georgia than what he did. Now, does that mean he should keep his job? I don't know. And I'm agree with you. He probably will. Because why? Because he doesn't have a better answer. Today we're going to vote, Shane. I voted early. 84 million people did. Usually you vote for somebody because you're voting against the other guy, the other guy. And you don't have right now, you don't have anybody else to go to as a coach right now. So show me somebody that's better and available and hireable and
Well,
you believe in it. And I will
hang on
say,
a second.
okay,
When you say when somebody's available, it's not like they're sitting on the shelf unemployed right now, and you can say, okay, I want that guy. There's a ton of coaches, quote, available out there. It's
mhm.
just from a financial standpoint. And then do they want to come deal with what Florida football is all about? Do they want to deal with the SEC? There's many coaches available.
But how many do you want, Shane?
Um, there's maybe one or two
Yeah,
that I would take.
I'm not campaigning for Billy to be retained, although I'm with you. I think he probably will be and probably should be, but there just isn't that slam dunk person. The reason I said available was the HBC's old theory is he's cheap and he's available. That was always the way I hired people, as you know.
Well, they're not going to get rid of Billy and just go hire some mom and pop guy coaching it,
No, but
you
give
know.
me a solution. I hear fans say this all the
Okay,
time.
so
Get a
here
better
is the
quarterback, get a
solution.
better
Here's the
center, get
solution.
a better.
Look, I'm not the one that makes these decisions. It doesn't matter what I think.
It does matter what you
No, it
think.
doesn't, buddy. It does not matter. Buddy, all I do is show up and call the game. I have no
That's
decision
the
making,
job. But you are Shane Matthews.
and that does not matter.
Well, the head
Okay.
coach said yesterday that you did in his press conference. Okay, I beg to differ to you.
Okay.
You do matter,
It
and your
still does
influence
not
is vital.
matter because the board of trustees, the UA, they don't give two craps what I feel or how
They
I
do
think.
listen to these shows. I know for a fact.
Okay. So you just asked me, is there a slam dunk hire or whatever? Or Chris says right here,
I
Lane
didn't
Kiffin
say
would be a
slam
slam
dunk.
dunk hire.
I didn't say slam dunk. Those are your words.
Well, I'm reading what Chris said. He said he would be. Look, everybody knows how I feel about Lane Kiffin as a football coach. I think he's as good as anybody out there from an offensive standpoint. They score points, they score points, they score points, and he's always going to have dudes at quarterback and skill guys. Whether you like the off the field stuff, which, I don't know enough about it, I think he's cleaned it up. I just know what he has done at Ole Miss speaks for itself. I don't know what else to say,
Okay.
but I do think Billy's going to be our coach next year.
Okay. We'll agree on that. Who you got in your top five, Shane?
Top five, what?
Well, tonight we get the top 12.
Uh, I would definitely put Oregon up there, though. I don't think they're the best team in America. I mean,
I agree
they
with that.
might
I
be
agree
on
with
one.
both of those. Yeah.
Um, I would have. I mean, Miami's got to go up there because they're undefeated. I would throw Indiana and BYU because they're both undefeated.
And Georgia.
I think BYU's a really good football team.
I haven't seen them yet. I got to
They're
take
very good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little bit more after Texas. I do not think Tennessee is a very good team. They've been squeaking by. They played terrible in the first half. I still think quarterback is their problem. I don't know. I wouldn't even know because I think it's going to be fascinating, the 12-team playoff, because I'm
It
looking
is.
at the top 25 right here,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter who you put against the other in one game. I think it's a toss-up in every one of them.
Elimination game too. Yeah.
There's not a
Shane,
dominant team on this list.
right. Did you see Dan Mullen's top 25?
No, I did not.
This is the one he put out before the games. he had Georgia 7th. Now I know you don't think Georgia is one of the top 3 teams, but that's pretty low. And his pre-game top 25, he had, listen to this: Oregon, Miami, Indiana, BYU, 1, 2, 3, 4, Texas, then Ohio State, Georgia, Penn State, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Boise State, and Army. Now, if I'd have told you anybody put Boise State and Army in their top 12 when the season started, you'd have thought I was a lunatic. But that's what they got. He's got now.
Well, Boise's damn good, and they got
But wait,
maybe
but
the
that's
best player in
damn good and
America.
being damn good and being in the top 12 is a different thing.
They're very good, buddy. They didn't get blown out at Oregon. Their
Okay.
only losses to Oregon.
All right, to take the next teams after the top 12 of Mullins, how good are these guys? SMU,
Very
Texas
good.
A&M, LSU, Alabama, Pitt, unfortunately took a powder, and then Ole Miss is 18. So anyway, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter yet, but you start thinking about it. I'm with you. I don't something about Oregon doesn't seem real. But I don't know. And I like Miami, but their QB, Cam Ward's throwing picks. He's making bad decisions. He'll probably win the Heisman, probably, unless he keeps making bad decisions. I've not seen enough of Indiana or BYU to know. I'll know more about Texas this weekend. Ohio State's underperforming, and Georgia is still one of the top 3 teams to me.
Barone71 on YouTube, brought to you by Quad Plum, says the UAA needs to sit down all the top players, let them know they are a priority and NIL is no issue for them, then hire Kirk Cignetti and let him do his thing.
What do they know about Kirk Cignetti? They don't know much about him. I understand his background. He's 63 years old. He's having a heck of a year. He's got offensive mind. But how does Kirk Cignetti come out of nowhere to be the choice of your fans for the Gator job? I don't see
Well,
the Indiana coach becoming the head coach at Florida.
he comes off the Saban tree. He coached with Nick 5 years
I
when
know.
Nick got to Alabama,
Yeah.
and then went to IUPUI or whatever it's called because he wanted to be a head coach, and then built James Madison into a powerhouse and done a tremendous job at Indiana this year. He's a good football coach. I would love to see them win the Big Ten. Love to see that. But who knows if it will happen or not. All right. So let me get to some more of these texts here, buddy. This is a text from George. He says, buddy, well, we kind of already discussed it, but I'm going to read it again. Do you think Billy Napier will be the head football coach here next year?
Right now, I agree with you, Shane. I think right now they haven't got a better answer. So I'd say
Well,
yes.
I don't know. I don't, that's not how I phrase it. I think there are better answers, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't
Well,
think they'll make the
okay,
move.
but you get the drift. It's the same thing. I mean, the better answers. Are you going to get Nick Saban to unretire? I mean, let's be
No,
realistic.
I mean, look, like I said, I'm hoping that if he is retained, we aren't sitting here week 3 or 4
I hope
going,
so too. We all hope so. But then you're right. And here's the thing that's damning. He's 15 and 17 in his third season. He's only 1-9 against the rivals, which
there you
would
have
be
it.
FSU, Georgia, LSU, Miami, and Tennessee can still beat FSU. I doubt they'll beat FSU. So that's the
Um,
damning evidence.
Michael's asked on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum. We were in a quandary for quality backups to Lagway. No QB signed. I think they do have a QB from Jesuit in Tampa is committed for next year. I believe, unless he decommitted. Napier missed on evaluating the only 2 currently behind DJ. Portal QBs are sketchy. What is the solution? As I said, there's probably only, and again, I do not follow recruiting. I don't have everybody's roster in front of me. I don't know all these kids. Uh, Out of all the teams that I can think of off the top of my head that may have a quality third guy would be Ole Miss. They have Walker Howard. They have Austin Simmons and Walker Howard, both guys that Billy wanted,
Yeah.
that are backing up Jackson Dart.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to get a quarterback out of the portal now anyway, Red. You're not going to do any good.
No, no,
But
he's talking about for the future.
well, I
Oh,
know future is Lagway, okay? And now they got to go get another quarterback. That's for
that's what
sure.
they're talking about. We need backups, buddy. But I try to tell people in today's world, it's hard to do that
It
because
is. It is.
I guess the Tampa kid they say is a 26 QB. I thought he was a 25. All right.
Um, I want to see, Shane, Remember the Kyle connections we used to have in the old days with Trask and Pitts? Remember that? Kyle connection?
Yeah.
Say yeah, because I invented that. It's Kyle. That was mine. I want to see a Aiden to Aiden. How about that, huh?
Huh.
Aiden Warner to Aiden Mizell. How would that be?
Yeah. Uh, this says here, this is a text on the Titan More text line. You've been steadfast for weeks now, and I agree that we learn what we need to know about this team over the next 4 games. Did you learn anything from number one of those 4 games? I mean, I saw we played hard. Um, you know, I and people can take shots at me, but I don't care. Georgia did not play that great on offense. We forced 3 turnovers. 2 were terrible, terrible decisions. One, we hit the quarterback. We affected that play and caused the interception that Pyburn had. Um, it was hard to take. I can't say, but um, from a defensive standpoint, I can probably
Better.
evaluate a little. And then defense has played great over the last few weeks.
Well, there you go.
We're
There's
really going to find out Saturday and then the following Saturday,
course.
the next 2
Well,
Saturdays.
I mean, it's pretty unfair now without a quarterback. I mean,
I'm talking about the defense. I'm just talking defense.
the defense is only as good as the offense. They play
I
combine
agree with that too.
and
I
give
agree
them
with
the ball
that
in
too.
bad field position all the time. I also think you're not remembering your conversations that we've had. You complained and talked about it forever about throwing the ball deep, throw the ball deep, throw the ball deep, throw
Mhm.
the ball. You finally got a guy to throw the ball deep, and he looks really great at doing it.
Well,
Is
it's not, again, DJ does throw a deep ball, but you got to you got to be able to do the other stuff. And he's
oh,
struggled with
wait,
that
now
so
that's not
far.
what you said. You
That
said
no, 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 no. I've never
throw the ball
said
deep.
don't ever throw the ball intermediate. You have to. I said you have to
I
take.
didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth.
No, you're putting words in my mouth. Say
You
what you
told
just
me
said.
you got to throw the ball deep at least X number of times a game. You said it
Correct.
100 times. Okay.
Correct.
Now they're throwing the ball deep for a change. All right.
Right.
Hold on. Let me finish. So at least there's something there. You're forgetting what you said and how
No.
passionate you were about it. I'm not saying he's the second coming of John Elway. I'm just saying he's throwing a nice ball deep and having some impact on the defense. The second thing is the defenses have got to get people off the field, and suddenly they're getting people off the field. All right. So when you talk about teams getting better, I acknowledge that as better, don't you?
I do. But like I said, you got to win games, and
Of course.
that's the bottom line. You know, we could sit here the rest of the year and say this team got better, and then we open up. Do we open up with Miami next year? I don't even know our schedule.
I don't have the schedule in
We
front
go
of me.
down. I think we do play them, and you know, we're on this show the Monday or Tuesday afterwards, going, we're better, but we lost again.
All right, that might
And I
not be where it
understand. I understand where we are right now, but it's we've lost a lot of football games.
if they get to 8 wins next year, that'd be good too. I don't know. Look, I'm not
Well,
making it.
we're assuming something that could happen. I mean, I don't know the answer. I'm not smart enough to know all that. That's not my job. My job is to call the game and kind of talk about what I see. You know what I mean? All right, I got a text here or a Facebook Live I want to read to you, buddy. Let me find it. I have to pull it up on my phone because the computer. I can't find it now. Anyway, Brent says, Shane, let's be honest. Georgia hasn't played great on offense all year. I don't think Georgia is that good. Our defense caused a lot of Georgia's mistakes, and Beck isn't seeming to feel that good. I agree with that 100%. Because
I'm amazed at how people are talking about how Georgia's not any good. When all
well, even Eric
3 years,
Zier,
3 years, can we please play Georgia competitively? They
yeah.
finally got that for almost the whole game. I mean, I'm amazed that you forget what you say and what you wish for, and you get it and you don't appreciate it. I don't know. I mean, increments, things happen. Look, let me just say one thing. You've heard this said many times by really great coaches. Sometimes you focus too much on the result, too much on the result. Nick Saban's very words. Sometimes you focus too much on the result. Are you making headway? Are you getting better? Do you see your team coming together? You have to consider that as a coach. And you've heard it said, and you coach, and you know that's true. I'm not proclaiming the Florida Gators are a top 5 team all of a sudden, or they're going to win a national championship. I'm saying you wanted better, you got better. Now you say, well, Georgia wasn't that good. Georgia was really good, and Georgia's still good, and Georgia is one of the top 3 teams. So take a gift.
But they have not played well on offense this year.
Okay, that happens to teams.
No, I agree, but they've wanted a quarterback change, but my people from up there say that it won't happen because he's being paid $3 million.
I understand, I got a Lamborghini and all that, but anyway,
Yeah.
There's an old saying: "Don't look a gift horse in the mouth."
Rod
And
says, "Can't believe we're talking about moral victories at UF."
Who's talking
that
moral
says a lot
victories?
about the program.
Who's talking moral victories?
He says you are, buddy.
I just said that before I started this broadcast. Listen to what I've said. You don't hear every word. I'm not talking moral victories. I'm talking progress reports. You're not going to win all those games. I've never been a moral victory guy. You know that. You're not, and Spurrier's not. But you have to acknowledge when you see improvement. Otherwise, how are you going to know? I'm just saying, be appreciative of the fact they're better on defense. They have a gifted quarterback who played well. They had a shot in the game. Be grateful for that. Move on and find something else to complain about.
Army Sniper says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, UF's been irrelevant for almost 2 decades. Some of y'all need to let go and live your life.
Okay, good. Thank you.
That's why I tell people don't stress about it. Nothing you can do about it.
Learn to enjoy the game. Learn to enjoy what you got. Go through your crucibles when you get them. Look, you think football was great prior to the time Shane got here? Listen, a lot of Gator fans have suffered.
The majority of the people that listen to this show weren't alive then, buddy.
I don't care whether they were or not. It's a fact. You can't change history. I hate people that say, well, I wasn't alive then. Read the history books. That's what they're for. The history didn't start when you were born, okay? Nor did it start with ESPN. Understand a little bit about the program and the history. Shane Matthews is responsible for a lot of this good stuff. People that don't understand what you did, don't know the story of Florida football. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's fine, but that does us no good today in 2024, 2025. Text on the Titan More text line says, QB, what do you think of Rhett Lashley at SMU if we moved on from Billy? He's coached a lot in the SEC. He's done a phenomenal job at SMU. I don't know. I don't know if I think he would be too much of one of these kind of like up and comer type guys. I don't think he would be in the mix.
Shane, it's a flavor of the month.
He's a good coach, though.
He's had
good offices everywhere he's been.
Strawberry ice cream is good too, but not every month. The point is that everybody gets this name. Oh, this is the guy. He's it. Go ahead. I don't know where that guy is, and you don't know where he is, and they don't know where. You want to throw some names out, play fine. Come up with some names. So far, Shane doesn't, and I don't see that person walking through that door at this point in time.
Rod says on YouTube, Shane, your honest opinion, you looking at the program over Napier's tenure, is he warranted another year? Probably not, but he's going to get it, I think. Rob S says 90% of teams improve throughout the year, buddy. That's no accomplishment if you're still losing. Buddy, we got to get them off you today.
Well, let me tell you about the year that they didn't win a game. How's that for an improvement? Okay, it happens. Happened to Florida. They don't always improve. Sometimes they go south. Read your history, folks.
Well, I've got a lot of texts here regarding recruiting because we're ranked around 50th in America. Does that concern you at all, buddy?
A little bit, but I think with the portal today, if you use it right, and Billy hasn't done that so far, you can make that up. And I think that's overblown. So a recruiting number right now doesn't mean ditch to me right now. I think what matters is who they get, who they keep. Who they keep is critical. That's the thing I think they got going for them now. It looks like unless they completely fall apart and they don't want to play for Billy, they're going to keep a lot of good players. They got to get some more, got to go to the portal, got to bring guys in. There are players out there, and there are players they can get and coach. What I like most of all is I've seen some coaching now in the last couple of weeks that I didn't really see that much of. So is there an improvement? Yeah. Have they shown it has it been in the W&L category? Not necessarily, but I see what I see, and I think what I think, and I don't always go by just like Dick Saban. You can't focus on just the result.
Frank's got an interesting text here on the Titan Mar text line. How much do you think strength and conditioning has to do with all the injuries we've had?
No.
I don't know, Frank, because I try to think back to my playing days. I don't remember my 3 years here anybody getting hurt and missing games. Maybe one game for a hamstring or a ankle or whatever, but and I didn't even lift weights, and I took a beating at 170 pounds. Didn't miss a game. Um, was I
Y'all
banged?
didn't hit in practice, so either.
Huh?
Y'all didn't hit in practice.
They don't really hit in practice now. They hit less now than when we
That's
did.
one of the things that over a long time takes a toll on a team. And you know how Spurrier felt about that. Why get him hurt on the practice field? He didn't have,
Right, but what I'm saying is
Urban
they don't
had
hardly
bloody
hit in
Tuesday.
practice in today's football. I mean, they got all these damn things they wear on the top of their
That's
guardian things
true.
on their helmets. They don't, there's hardly any hitting at
That's true.
practice in
But why
football
are
now.
people getting hurt? Is what he's asking. I don't know the answer to the strength and conditioning thing. I'm not smart enough to know that.
Yeah. Um, Doug says Lane Kiffin is the answer. He has SEC experience and wins everywhere he's landed.
Okay, bring him on. Then you complain about him. Bring him on. I'm fine. Let's get him. Go
Well,
ahead.
buddy, it doesn't matter who they have, they're going to complain.
Of course.
They complained about Coach Spurrier when he was here.
Of course.
That's why he ain't here anymore.
Yeah.
It happens everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, buddy, who you got on your show tonight?
It's not me. Lauren Meadows has got David Whitley. I think Whitley's off tonight. He's got a cast of characters, including the usuals we have on a Tuesday night. We'll have Lauren. We'll have probably Rob Brown from SEC Sidelines, and one more. It's one of Lauren's Dayton buddies. I turned on the radio last night to listen to a women's basketball game for 5 seconds, and I heard this voice doing the color. I said, I know that voice. It was Lauren Meadows doing color on the women's basketball. What are you doing,
Last
man?
night?
Last night, yeah. I was just flipping
Oh.
over. Yeah. So no, that's who we got tonight. We'll have some fun. We'll talk about. We're going to use some of the bites off this show tonight. If you missed it the first time, we can hear Shane and I arguing tonight on the Buddy Barton Show. Tune us in at 9 o'clock Eastern.
So sorry, buddy. So this text came in here from Jackson. He says, please ask Buddy this. Buddy, if you were in charge at the University of Florida, what would you do with the head football coach? And if you made a change, who is your number one guy?
I would go ask Nick Saban to come out of retirement. Okay.
Well, buddy, that ain't even
Well,
gonna
they
happen.
asked me a question. I told you. What would I do? Then next thing I would do is say, what's better? This is what I got now. This is what I could have. This is how much it cost me in money. This is how much it cost me in players. And to make an evaluation. I don't want to lose DJ Lagway. All right. I think Billy is a good enough coach to get him through another season and make a couple of changes on the staff. The defense is better. I'd give him another year probably until I find somebody that's better. And I don't see that person.
So you're saying you would keep a coach only because of a player?
No, I would keep a coach because there's nobody better to come in and take his place and rebuild the program that we've seen rebuild 1,000 times, and we're getting tired of it without a result. So if you're going to spend all this money and you got decent players, maximize your position until you find somebody. Shane, you said you don't know anybody either, other
I
than
do
Lane
know
Kiffin.
somebody. I
Okay,
already gave you my guy.
go offer Lane Kiffin $20 million, go get him. Okay, see how happy.
I don't think you have to pay that much.
I'm just whatever the number is, doesn't matter. And it'll be in 6 weeks. People say, we should never got Kiffin. We overplayed. We shouldn't have got him. He can't coach.
Well, there's one thing I do know. They would score a lot of points. That's all I know.
Okay. Is that what you want?
You're damn right I do.
I want the
If
points
you
too.
score a lot of points, that means the other team has to score more than you.
No, I'm talking about being only the thing. You want more than that. I know that.
Well, no, their defense is outstanding. Look, I have Ole Miss ties, okay? I have a lot of Ole Miss ties because that was my team growing up. And I think they're playing really good football right now. Now, they can lay an egg against Georgia. I don't think they will. But anyway, that's
All right, let me ask you the same question.
Right.
You can make you're the athletic director of the president of school, and you can't have Lane Kiffin. Who you go and get?
But I have to think about that.
Well, that's what you asked me to do.
Yeah, well, you should. I mean, your number one choice is a guy that there's no way he's going to coach anyone.
Well, but I said if I'm making you say no, and I
All
know
right,
he will.
I got to read this question. Army Sniper says Ole Miss is a better job than UF. No, it's not.
Oh,
Look,
no,
Army Sniper,
no,
just
no,
because Ole Miss has been winning, I
no.
told you got the Gator head and you got the script Ole Miss. There is no comparison in those two logos anywhere in the world.
And you would
Okay.
know that because you grew up as an Ole Miss.
Yes. Even the Mississippi people will tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not. It's not even close.
And that's the kind of misinformation that people have out there. And
Well, because most people think because they say it's a better job because they've been winning the last 4 or 5 years
that's
in their
not what it
league,
is.
but
That's
it's not. The,
no,
the the schools are not even close.
no. Resources 100 times more in Florida.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a nice place to coach, and it's a nice little place. I love going
It's a
there and all
great school and
that. Fun. Had some good heritage. They won
yeah.
back in the day when I first started covering college football. Ole Miss and Johnny Vaught, they were top dogs. They were winning
Yep.
winning national championships.
Yep, that's who my dad played for, Johnny
Yeah.
Ball. All right. Buddy, good stuff as always. We
All right, man.
appreciate your time
Thank you,
and
Shane.
have a good night off, my friend.
Thank you.
That is Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan More Highline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Y'all got me. I got to get to a bunch of these texts and questions and stuff. We're going to take a quick time out. We can come back. Keep firing away, folks. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Crime Prevention Security, Dave & Buster's, Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, Titan MRI, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Our gridiron sponsors are Florida Cracker Kitchen, Comfort Temp, Peachland Dental, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Cogent Bank, UF Bookstores, Florida Victorious, Quality Plumbing, Silverback Concrete, Electronics World, Miapa Latin Cafe, 84 Lumber, Baker Sporting Goods, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Signs, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Okido America, Style Cuts, and Gator Bait Media. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any of the 39 platforms where you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Rose Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call, 352-240-1779. I want to thank Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show for joining us on the Titan MR Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Town. This right here, Rodney says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law. Wasn't it Foley that said, what must be done tomorrow must be done today? 3 losing seasons should result in the coach being fired at UF. Enough already. I don't know if he said that or not. This is this is great. My good friend, Mr. Dar says, do you think touchdowns in the second half should be worth more than the first half? You always double the back. Yeah, I do. If they want to do it like golf. I've never really understand why our golf group makes the back more important than the front. But yes, I do agree. If you score a touchdown in the second half, it should be worth double for sure. Cliff says recruiting is shot for next season. Bring in Lane, and that let's see what we can do with the players we are able to keep and the players he can get, and possibly some he may bring with him. Yeah. We'll see. We got what we got? 3 games left, 4 games left. What we got? Texas, LSU, Ole Miss. Yeah, 4 games left in the semis. Tough sledding right there, folks. Tough sledding. Jim says, QB, do we play Lagway at 70, 80% healthy against Texas? Look, folks, I don't know. I don't know anything. I know Billy said that he ain't ruling him out. I think he's just doing that gamemanship thing. I've said I was involved with football from age 5 to age 36 as a player. Been watching it my entire life. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody, that was carted off the field for a hamstring injury. Okay. Nothing wrong with it, but I've never seen that. B, I've never seen anybody come back the next week. It's literally going to be impossible because he likes to move around in the pocket, make one subtle movement, and you're going to pop it again or re-aggravate it. I just don't see how he plays it all the rest of the year, personally. That's just me from experience and being around a lot of hamstring injuries. So, but yeah, I mean, if it wasn't a hamstring at 70, 80%, let's just say it was his ankle, that's a different story because you can really tape that ankle up where you don't have you won't have a whole lot of mobility, but you can kind of stabilize. You can't do anything with your hamstring. Daryl says that me and Buddy are must-listen radio. Hey, we have a good time. I mean, he's got his opinions. I got mine. That's why we do these shows. And anyway, tomorrow I'm supposed to have somebody from Texas on. We'll talk a little Longhorns. We don't know a whole lot about them. I know what I am excited about. Obviously, I've been to Austin, but I've never been to a game at Texas. I'm excited for that. I wish it wasn't an 11 a.m. start, but I cannot wait. I am going to take a picture with Bevo. I'm hoping Bevo shows up at the ballpark, early. I hope he's not a late arriver, because if he is, I'm just going to have to tell Sean Kelly, look, I'm going down. I am getting a picture with Bevo when I'm there. I want to see how big he really is in person. So I'm excited for that. Michael says, you're nuts. Franklin would be a bad choice. Billy has built the inner workings of this already. His on-field coaching is suspect. Franklin is no better. No. Florida Crackers, the brand for original Floridians, great food and Southern hospitality in the center of the universe. Brooksville, Florida, floridacracker.com. We'll also have JC tomorrow. We'll do some Peachland Dental picks. I don't know how JC did on his picks last week. I was out, so I didn't get to participate. Robert wants to know, did Buddy ever give me the $1,000 he owes me? You know what? I forgot about that. He does owe me $1,000 though, because everybody on this program knows what we're talking about. That's funny. Y'all remember that. So, all right, a couple more texts and we'll get out of here. This is from William. He says, do you think Aiden Warner and Clay Millen play this week against Texas? It's possible. Clay Millen transferred from Colorado State. He started 10 or 12 games there during his career. Kind of a tall, lean kid. You may see them both. I'm anxious to see what kind of plan they put together in this game for sure. Rob says, I think it was a really bad Charlie horse. Usually a Charlie horse where I grew up is when you get hit in an area. And Billy's so cautious, he shut him. No, he pulled it. He immediately reached for his hamstring. Immediately. So we'll see. I mean, heck, I could be 1,000% wrong. And he runs out there the first series. I just don't know. Annie wants to know if I'll see my son. Yes, he's going to travel down to Austin from Dallas, and we'll have a good time. Brand says, do you know anything about Rhett Lashley? Seems to have SMU playing very well. Yeah, he's an offensive guy. He's a Gus Malzahn. I want to say Rhett played quarterback for Gus back when Gus was a high school coach. got on his coaching staff. He was with him at Auburn. Then he went to Miami for a year or two, called plays down there. And he's done a good job. He's got a good team. I believe SMU is probably going to play Miami in the ACC championship game, and look out. The Mustangs ain't no joke. Their only loss is to an undefeated BYU team. Lenny says it's a shame because DJ needed the game reps to develop. Yeah, it is a shame. It would have been really good for his career moving forward to play full games against the Georgias, the Texases, the LSUs, the Ole Misses. And again, it may happen. I personally don't think it will. This is from Kevin. Did you see Billy's comments on you, Shane, yesterday? Pretty funny. Somebody sent them to me. I think Edgar was listening to the program, and Edgar talked to him about the balls, where I said, because somebody yesterday on the program talked about Aiden Warner not having a good arm. He's got a really good arm. A couple balls didn't come out of his hand correctly, which happens to all of us, and it may be because he didn't like the balls. And as I said, the starting quarterback on every team I've ever been a part of, whether I played or somebody else was playing or I was coaching, we made sure the starting quarterback liked the 12 to 24 balls that were being checked in. As I said, some guys like them brand new. Some guys like them beat up and broken in. I was a beat up, broken in guy. A lot of receivers like them broken in too. They're easier to catch. So I made a comment, and Edgar asked Billy about that. And Billy said, the last thing on Aiden Warner's mind was the balls. However, when I was a backup in the NFL and something happened, immediately you have to go in the game. But as soon as we came to the sideline, I went straight to the ball boys and said, hey, bring me the balls. We need to get the 12 that I like. So, but that's just how I was. Maybe they're not like that in today's world. Baron says Clay Millen will play when Aiden Warner gets benched. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, good win for the Gator basketball team. We'll get Chris Harry on probably later this week, talk a little hoops. But good win for the Lady Gators as well against FAU in the O'Connell Center. Congratulations on both to Todd Golden and Kelly Ray Finley for win number 1. That's going to do it for today's program, folks. Appreciate everybody chiming in, and we will see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Take care. Go vote.